Good afternoon, Britain. Now, Afghan migrant Fayez Khan has been jailed for 5 years for threatening to kill Nigel Farage, and that includes 8 months for entering the UK illegally. The small boat migrant shared videos of his journey to the UK online, alongside one video threatening to kill Nigel Farage.
Know me. I gonna come to England. I gonna pop, mother. Passa, man, you know. There's mother passa.
Well, let's go to the court now and speak to our national reporter, Will Godley, who's been following this case for us here at GB News, because this is actually a very significant moment. Will, what did go down in the court today, this morning, and indeed this afternoon?
Well, I can tell you, Tom, it had a very dramatic ending, something we were not expecting in court, as Fayez Khan was taken out of the dock after being sentenced to 5 years for making a threat to kill Nigel Farage. He was protesting his innocence, saying he did not come here to make threats or be violent. He said Nigel Farage was using him to become Prime Minister. He said he wanted to return to Afghanistan, where he's of course from. He was refusing to leave the dock. Court officers had to physically take him out of that door as he was holding the door frame to avoid being taken out. And as he was walking down the corridors, we could hear his screams of innocence get louder and louder, and his frustrations as he was taken out of the prison van, as we now see Nigel Farage making a statement.
Well, we can see Nigel Farage walking out there of the court. Let's listen in and see what the leader of the Reform Party has to say about this astonishing sentencing, this small boat migrant.
Well, as we call that a win, it was about the maximum sentence that could possibly have been given, 5 years, given the scale of the offence. And I thank Justice Stein, I thank the judge for saying what she said. But the fact is that in 18 months' time, this violent criminal, somebody with 17 convictions in Sweden, in 18 months' time, he will be in this country, living in a house of multiple occupancy or a hotel. He'll be free to walk the streets whilst his asylum claim is being judged. And the only reason we know about this guy is because somebody sent it to me on TikTok. And it makes me wonder, how many other madder passers are there now in this country, or will there be as the boats continue to cross the channel? So I'm pleased with the judgment, but deeply, deeply concerned that this guy will be out free in 18 months. A strange twist at the end, when he was after the sentence, he was speaking from the dock, trying to be heard, making it perfectly clear that he'd rather go back to Afghanistan. Now, in Germany, there are plane loads of people going back to Afghanistan. I wonder if in 18 months' time, the only thing that stops him being on our streets is we have some kind of deal with Afghanistan. I doubt it, but at least it's a possibility, and the Germans have shown us what they can do. So I've got mixed feelings. It was right to bring this case. I'm happy with the sentence. I'm happy with the win. But I repeat, in 18 months' time, this violent criminal will be free on our streets. Thank you. Sorry? Well, he wants to be deported. He said he'd rather go back to Afghanistan. You know, I mean, that's what he wants to do, and we should satisfy that as soon as we can. Well, I think, you know, being a member of Parliament, as we've seen over the course of the last decade, can be dangerous for all sorts of people.
Do you agree with the court's finding that he wasn't a, quote, dangerous offender within the legal provisions?
Well, I think most of the 17 offences were drugs, dishonesty. You know, quite how you define dangerous, I don't know. But look, it was still a pretty harsh sentence, given many of the other things that we see in British courts. All right.
Just one more. His reaction at the end levelled a barrage of swear words at you,
yes,
accusations against you.
Yes.
What was your reaction in court? Were you shaken by that in the same way you were shaken by
well, in 18 months' time, when he's out free, and there's no order, there's no restraining order on him, I'll be very thoughtful again. Thank you, everybody.
Well, there, an impromptu press conference from the Reform Party leader Nigel Farage as a 5-year sentence is handed down to the small boat migrant who threatened to kill him. Live on the scene for us is, of course, Will Godley, our reporter. Let's cross to Will now to get some instant reaction. Well,
we heard there Nigel Farage saying he's deeply concerned that Fayez Khan could be out on the streets of Britain in as little as 18 months' time. That's despite the High Court judge in Southwark Crown Court here, Justice Stein, sentencing to Fayez Khan to 5 years in prison for making a threat to kill the leader of Reform UK. Half of that sentence, so after half of that sentence, he will be able to be released from prison out on licence and pending numerous conditions. But Nigel Farage, of course, describing the threat made against him on TikTok, on the Mada Passa TikTok account, which has hundreds of thousands of followers before it was deactivated and had more than 2 million views on that account. Nigel Farage described the threat as deeply pretty chilling and made him genuinely worried when he gave evidence in court last week. The jury took nearly 12 hours to find Fayez Khan guilty of making that threat, and the judge, in her decision-making when sentencing Fayez Khan, said there were 3 significant aggravating factors. Firstly, that Nigel Farage is a member of Parliament, a leader of Reform UK, a political party leader, and so she said this sentence had to be a deterrence, and it was an exceptionally serious crime to make a threat to an MP, especially as 2 had lost their lives to attacks. She also noted a significant criminal history in Sweden that the court was hearing today for the first time as a significant aggravating factor in this case. And thirdly, that he was boasting about his access to guns and weapons in his TikTok videos. Well, Fayez Khan sentenced to 5 years in prison. He was protesting that verdict as he was leaving the dock today, saying he wanted to return back to Afghanistan. He will now go off from here to prison, where he is sentenced to 5 years.